Hey, it's Leah here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County. So if you are somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people with living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today. Set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon. And now, here's this week's edition of the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Dr. Pannozzo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Colleen. Good morning, Freddy Santori.
Good morning.
And good morning, Linda. See, we bring a whole cast of people to do the show because we need that many people. So remember what Leah said? No drugs, no surgery, just cure. So we have a new thing that we're going to do, folks. Now that football is starting, we're going to talk about football injuries, Doc.
We got them.
Well, and we have the Coach's Corner with Coach Freddy Santori. Talk about some of these injuries that you picked up in the players.
Well, I just got them off of the internet.
That's okay.
A hamstring, knees, and a shin surgery.
Never heard of that.
Shin surgery.
I don't have a clue what
they
mean by that. This is shin pain is a referred pain.
Okay.
This comes from somewhere else.
Yeah, explain that when you say referred pain. A lot of people don't understand what that means.
The cause of this pain is not at the shin. You
Okay.
feel it there, but it's caused by something further away.
Mm-hmm.
You have to know how to diagnose these things, and that's what I do best. I diagnose where the pain is from. You can't get a good result unless you know where it's from, and that's just basic stuff. No mystery there.
And an MRI can't show that.
Hamstrings do not exist.
Really?
Hamstrings are referred pain from somewhere else, and you have to know how it's created, and then we treat it.
What do you think about that, Coach?
Well, Doc, it's interesting you say that because the bottom line is, and this just happened to me this week where I contacted another company that says they cure pain. And it's funny because if you don't know where the pain is coming from, unless I know you're going to scream at me the cause.
Cause.
Source.
You got to know where the pain comes from. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
You can't treat the area if you don't know the cause.
Right.
And what you're an expert at is finding the cause.
Yeah, you call me a diagnostician or something like that. You have to know where it is. You have to understand the anatomy and the physiology of motion, weight bearing, in order to diagnose where these pains come from. And so hamstring, they're going to be out a long time for hamstrings.
Yeah,
I forget what it was.
6 weeks.
6 weeks. Wow.
6 weeks, which is really dumb because we could fix this in one day. They'll be out in that course the next day.
So they can go right out and play after you give them the shot.
These people don't know where these things come from. They think a muscle's a muscle. It is not. It's a referral area. Muscle, in order to be a muscle like a hamstring, if it's local, you have to have blood. In other words, you have to have muscle pulling out of the bone. And now you know what to treat. That is a real hamstring problem. But when you don't have that, then it's a referred area from somewhere else. And if I know where that is, and we treat that every day. For instance, we had a yoga instructor who said, I have these hamstring bother me, and I can't have it because I have to show people what to do. It was 2 shots, that was gone, and it'll never come back.
Well, it's funny.
Hamstring.
Well, Doc, I feel that I failed because I haven't apparently explained to people correctly what it is and how it is, what you do. You came into the radio station one day, and I was grabbing my right shoulder to the back because it hurt, carrying the bags I carry and everything else. Can't sleep on it. And you came up to me and you says, and you took your finger and you put it on a certain spot in front of my chest, and the pain was unbearable. I mean, I shed a tear.
Oh, I know what that's like. I had that with my groin. He did the same thing.
But here I am thinking that it was the shoulder, and you found with your finger where the pain was in front of my shoulder.
You found out the cause.
And I think that the bottom line here is that we have to explain to people is that if you come in and you're pointing at point A and the pain is originating from point B, and he's trying to treat point B, he's going to give you a choice. He's going to tell you yes or no, this is what you got to do.
Right.
And this man's been doing it for over 50 years. Okay, and I'm a believer because you did it on my body. So don't come in unless you're prepared to listen.
Exactly. I think one of the things that people don't understand is we tell everyone what it is that this man does, and it bothers me if someone comes in and says, "Well, I don't want to do it." Well, why did you waste his time when he's got an office full of people that believe? I mean, we've got believers that have actually talk show personalities that have come in and said, "Oh my God, this guy is like a genius. They have no more pain anymore."
Well, it's not really a genius. I mean, you've had.
Well, yeah, you are a genius.
You have experience, and you rely on that, so you can diagnose things. An older physician who's been around, who's done a lot of work, is really should be used more because they have experience in different things. Especially me. I'm an older guy.
No.
I hate to say that, but it's true.
He gets a bell for his age, okay.
Yeah, but you also have a son that does this, Doc.
Yeah.
And he's in his early 40s, so he's got a long career to go.
Yes, he does.
Now, there's an article in the Golf Digest,
Okay.
latest issue, and the title was "Bubba: Why We Love Him and Why We Don't." Please, I mean, so, the real article is in how you want to get good fast on your swing.
Right, make a fast
And
swing.
they're promoting what, of all things? Computer.
Computer robots, yes.
Computer robot.
Who has no pain, right?
And see, the thing about it is, you can't teach a robot where pain comes from. You have to know the anatomy and physiology. You have to know these things.
Exactly.
And you can diagnose it easily. But you're not going to do it by machine. So these are ignorant people promoting ignorance and getting away with it. The article in the Golf Digest, I think it's a crime.
Well, I mean,
all they had to do was ask, how do you diagnose a problem? They don't get the idea that the swing at the tee is a medical problem. Mm-hmm. It is a medical problem, and there's no way you can get around it. You don't know what's there. No PGA guy is going to be able to tell you what structure is involved in your elimination of your pain. Look at Tiger Woods. That's a perfect example.
They keep changing the swing.
You cannot change the swing. You have to bring the swing to normal. Mm-hmm. And you do that by taking out all the impediments, all the scar tissue, the pain, and all that. It goes to normal naturally, and now you could teach how to swing. Can't do it ahead of time. So this is a terrible article. Don't do it, people. Stay away from the computerized stuff. They don't know anything. It's just a waste of money.
Well, what they do it for the computerized stuff was because they wanted to see originally by having a robot hit a ball. A robot's always going to have the most perfect swing in the world because it's worked on a computer.
It's a pure swing.
Yeah, it's a pure swing worked on a computer. No one really has a pure swing all the time. That's why a ball won't go down the fairway. It goes into the woods or it goes into the water.
It's called self-inhibition. So
Okay.
your body will inhibit creating a pain in your body as you swing. So that means you don't get the pure arc. You get it off of here. You get it off of there. High, low, or in my case, I miss it.
That's because you took your eye off the ball.
And if I was in Arizona, I'd have my swing treated. But
You don't want to stop playing golf
well,
now.
Paul's the only one I would allow to treat me because he understands the physiology of the
Here's the
golf.
key that I want to say to everybody. I have been into his office when he was getting shots from his son. I've been there. Or your daughter when your son, you explain to her where to do it. So if he's getting the shots, okay, you must believe it. You wouldn't. I mean, he's doing things that before he gives it to anybody else.
Well, that's true, and you can't prejudge what I'm going to do for you.
Right.
You have to just ask the right questions. The right questions are, is there any downside to any treatment? The answer is no.
Correct.
You cannot get hurt there. And that's about it. I mean,
That's the only question left.
There's only one question. Is there any downside? That's
yeah,
it.
well, how soon do I get relief? In 2 minutes.
And
You know that computerized article, Doc. Nolan Ryan in the 70s, they put him. This is not new technology.
No.
Nolan Ryan was put in because he used to pitch 104 miles an hour.
Oh,
It was
God.
called the Ryan Express.
Oh, right.
And
No, they called
the
it by
reason-
Ryan Express. You're right. I remember.
And the reason that I remember him is because he started out as a Met. And I was a big Met fan. And I remember when he went to the Angels, he started throwing no-hitters because nobody could hit 104 miles an hour. But they put him on this computer to find out if his pitching motion could be duplicated. But like you
Right.
said, there's different things that go on in the human body. Strength, the arm velocity, swinging through, pitching through. You can't duplicate none of that. So all of this stuff they're going to do isn't going to work. You have a swing, you have to work with the swing, and it has to be free of all impurities, what you call.
They can't put in the software enough information
It's impossible.
to duplicate anything.
No.
You're looking at a swing. That's fine. You could use that as a standard, but it's not going to diagnose your swing for you. So like I say, they have this as a PGA. I went up there one day,
Yeah.
and there was nobody there, so I was walking around. They have 11 of those machines in
Yeah,
there.
we were there watching it. Yeah.
I mean, you can't believe this stuff. And I don't see that they help anybody. They can't. Well, they just can't. On
It just doesn't exist.
On a technical basis, theoretical basis, they cannot do any good.
No, because you can't swing a perfect swing like a computerized swing. It's impossible.
Even course interpretation, here's the win
Right. You gotta take-
factor. You know what I'm saying? If you look
There's
at
no
this
win
and you
with the
hit it
robot,
right
yeah.
to get it left, if you cut, whatever, it doesn't exist.
The PGA pros should just show people how to do the art of golf, how to work around the sand.
Now
drop.
you're talking about how do you play the game.
That's what they
what's
should do.
important.
How to get out of the sand.
Right.
The most important shot
Right.
is that tee shot, because that tee shot gets you where you could use the different clubs. I've learned that from him, and I've seen it. Golfers that have come in, you could get up to 40 yards. I'm not going to say you can get 40 yards, but if you've got a good swing, you got 40 yards on a golf course is a lot on your drive. It really is.
And we get that much improvement up to.
That's a lot.
But you've seen the tapes of people that you've seen them too, Fred.
Yeah. Pannozzo.tv has them
people
all.
with a pain.
Yeah.
We put them through the swing. They create a pain. We treat it
No pain.
and do the swing again. No pain. And you see it right in front of your eyes. There's no trickery there. It's just the same setup.
Well, here's the beauty.
And it's in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you some things. First of all, if you want to call and get involved in the conversation, it's 800-889-0267. That's 800-889-0267. If you're a golfer or you have a child that wants to play baseball that's having a problem and no one else could help them, come in and see Dr. Pannozzo. Give us a call.
We will take any of that pain out, and we'll have try to reproduce it before you leave, and you will not be able to.
So let me ask you a question. In your career,
People, they say, you want me to create a pain? I said, yes, indeed. I want to know if you have that pain yet after I treat it. Well, the answer I already know is no.
well, we know somebody, another person came in, the Greek from the Penthouse, who showed you where his pain was, calls you up the next day and said, oh, my God, I can move my elbow, I can swing, I can do push-ups. And that's, he's in pretty good shape. So he would do 100 push-ups, and he couldn't do them. Remember the first, and now he's doing his push-ups. I mean, it's amazing.
Anybody want to talk to him about this, call him up on his show.
Yeah, call him up and talk to him.
10 to 2.
10 to 2.
Every day.
Yeah, you talk to him.
What's he called himself?
The Greek. Everyone knows him as the Greek, so we're not going to give his real
but
name.
what's the show called?
It's called The Penthouse.
Oh, The Penthouse. Yeah. It's really a sexy show, I think.
Well, it's also a very good show.
I have to listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet.
It's very funny. I never listened to these shows until you were on the show. I have my radio on The Penthouse, and I have it on The Love Doctors, and I have it on 940 with sports. Colleen, am I doing anything wrong? Okay. I
want to talk about the why.
Are we done with the Coach's Corner?
Yes, we're done.
Okay, done with the Coach's Corner.
Now we're going to that.
This dovetails with his.
Okay, good.
It's a segue, as they call it.
That's that little thing you run around the mall, right?
No.
Paul Blott, he runs around.
He does.
Okay, go ahead, Doc.
Lester's been drinking too much caffeine today.
He calls me Lester when he gets mad at me.
I'm not drinking enough. I can't keep up with him. Anyway, now you'd wonder why you need to go to another doctor and they can't do what I do. Okay.
Exactly.
And they say, well, he's a specialist. Well, there's a very few of us that actually do musculoskeletal medicine, which means pain things. Surgeons don't do it, neurologists don't do it, rheumatologists don't do it, physical therapies don't do it, chiropractors don't do it.
Orthopedic surgeons.
They
don't
work
do it
around,
either.
but not
Yeah.
in. Well,
Right.
I'm practically the only one that works in it, and I actually created this system. I started working as an outpatient, 1968.
Wow.
1968, and at that time, nobody in my specialty had an office. I was the first one.
Really?
And they thought, oh, this guy's a real fake. He's just doing hot packs. And I never did a hot pack in my life. We always diagnosed the real problem. Now, here's a course that people could go to, Evaluating and Treating Pain, right?
Uh-huh.
You see it?
I see it.
Harvard, June 1st to 5th, 2015. That's
That's the real Harvard?
Yes.
the real Harvard. And when you look inside, there is no place in there that tells you where the pain's from. It's pure narcotics. They're teaching you how to prescribe narcotics.
They're teaching you how to numb the
That's
pain.
why you go to these courses and you think you're being educated. You are not being educated.
Well, also, narcotics doesn't get rid of a pain. Narcotics just makes your brain think the pain went away.
Makes you sleepy.
Yeah. So you don't feel the pain. You know what really boggles my mind? A doctor will say to you, which, I'm not saying anything bad about doctors, I want you to take this for a headache. And they just take it. Okay, my doctor said when you and I have seen patients coming through the door with severe pain in their, how about vertigo? I watched you cure vertigo from 2 people in one day.
Yep. Oh, that's the other thing. That migraine and vertigo apparently are from the same place.
We saw 2
The ear, nose, and throat guys are going to be really upset with me. And the
Well, I have to tell you a
neurologists
story.
But they're not right. They don't cure that stuff, and I just did.
Well,
I did.
A guy came up to me and says, I heard Dr. Pannozzo says he can cure vertigo.
Yep.
Is he insane? I said, why, do you have it? Yes. Well, why don't you go see him? Because nobody can cure vertigo. I said, they said the same thing about chickenpox.
I was there.
This is how research is
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
You know, before penicillin, nobody could cure a bacteria.
Right.
Some guy discovered a penicillin by accident, and he put it on the market, and as people say, oh, that can't work. It does work. Try it. You know, you can't.
Who discovered penicillin? Was it Madame Curie?
No.
Who was the one that
Madame Curie.
Yeah, who was the one that discovered? I'm trying to remember.
Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur.
No.
How do you know that?
Coleen's just having fun. That's the first time Coleen's ever talked on the mic.
Holy
I like her.
mackerel.
Did you hear that voice?
Very
Oh my
sexy
God.
voice,
Low
Colleen.
and, low and sexy.
Very low and
I
sexy.
thought something happened to my computer. I was like,
Oh, the computer just broke. Okay. Yeah, but you're right. But people have no problem taking the Valium that the doctor says when we know what you do is to cure vertigo. Freddy, I got to tell you a story. I brought somebody in, and as I brought the person in, they very apprehensive. The lady that was there has been coming to Dr. Pannozzo for years for different ailments that he's cured.
Lower back after surgery.
Right.
Yeah.
After surgery, so he's working on that. She's telling this girl, I had vertigo until I saw him. Now, that was the first time I ever heard about
Well, they
you
were
doing
talking
that.
about they both have vertigo.
Yeah.
One was in his 70s.
And the other
one
one's
was
in the 40s, right.
And they both have vertigo, and they both went to the same doctor.
Yeah, which is
the
very
routine,
funny.
they go to this guy and this guy and this guy, get this test, this test, and nobody could cure them. Okay, they still had it. So they're in my office at the same time.
Which is really funny.
And with the same symptoms. So the older one says, I want that treatment for migraine that you do. And I said, okay. I did the shot on her, and the migraine left, and she could not recreate her vertigo.
really?
I mean, this person was driving me crazy, calling me on the phone all the time. I got this vertigo. You got to do something about it. So she finally came in at the right time, and I did it. That's the older one. And so she went out of the examining room and could not recreate that. So she's talking to the younger one. I just lost my vertigo, and she was moving her head like around like this. It could not recreate that vertigo. And I said, man, I'm really onto something now.
Well, what about TMJ?
But I always thought that was the area.
Yeah,
But I couldn't put it together because that's the way research is done. You need to have an idea, then you have to wait for the opportunity and be able to follow through. You have to be able to do all those steps before you can come to a conclusion. And then you have to see how long it lasts. Well, so the second one, the younger one, we did her. And she could not create that either.
No.
We went to lunch, so we know that she.
Have you heard from either one?
No.
Oh, the other one
We
calls
should
me.
follow up.
Yeah, the other one called.
And how is she doing?
Oh, she's doing fine. I mean,
She hasn't had an active vertigo.
No
well,
vertigo came
one of her
back.
biggest problems was when she was at a stoplight, she got disoriented,
No kidding. That could kill you.
and now that she's fine. And when she could only move her neck a certain, couldn't move her neck right all the way. Now it's fine.
And you spoke to her recently?
Yesterday, actually, I called her up to see how she's doing.
And
She's
she's
fine.
okay? Amazing.
Okay, so we're talking about original research.
Yeah.
The ideas come out of my head, and we were able to follow through with it. Now, if you ask anybody who treats vertigo, so to speak, they think they treat it, and they're not. It never goes away. They're not treating it. Believe me, when you have a good doctor who treats something, it goes away. If it doesn't go away, you're in the wrong office, including mine.
So like the neurologist that makes you
So
lay
if
on
you
the
ask
table.
them, you ask an ENT guy, they're not going to know anything about it. They're not trained in that. It's new research.
They're not
Say new.
supposed to know
So
anything
don't
about
trust anybody. You just come in, say you have
That's right.
vertigo. I'll tell you whether we can help you or not.
You just gave a great point. Okay, no one was trained in the field he does. That's the difference that people have to understand. You know, a lot of people say, "Why? How could he do it?" He was trained. He taught himself. This is a man that graduated one of the most prestigious medical schools, Ohio State University. I mean, so we're not talking about a chiropractor guy. We're talking about a guy that understands medicine. He's a medical doctor. No, I'm just
You're
saying.
not a chiropractor guy.
He
Didn't you tell him
mentions
not to do that?
chiropractor in front of my face. I mean, I could kill him.
Did you tell him not to do that?
No, you know what bothers me, and what I have family members. What bothers me is people go to a doctor because someone recommended that doctor. That doesn't mean the doctor is going to get rid of the pain that you have. I mean, that's what I want people to understand. You know, Botox does not get rid of migraines.
Just makes you look good.
No,
I'm the only one that gets rid of migraines.
that's what I'm trying to
And
say.
I can actually say that and mean it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? You're hearing me myself. I mean, I'm susceptible to criticism, but you cannot criticize because it's true.
So far, my deal, Freddie, of anyone that doesn't get cured with the pain that they came in with, I haven't had to pay anyone for dinner, for four.
I know. I think you should up it to a
I
trip
am.
to
The
Paris.
only one who did that was your good friend, which we don't see anymore. He can never get rid of his pain, never cooperated, and he had 4 surgeries after that, and he still has the pain. I mean, you know, you can't believe his stuff.
True story.
This program is really meant to save you a lot of grief.
When he went with this guy, when he went with Dr. Pannozzo fitted him with the lift and all the stuff that he did with you, and he was getting better and better. But someone was telling him, "You got to go in for surgery. You got to go in for surgery." Well, he went in for 2 hip replacements and 2 knee replacements.
Wow.
Guess what he uses to walk now? A cane.
There you go. That's the solution.
And a crap load of narcotics.
That brings up a good point. See, when you get surgery, the surgeon is not going to follow through with any treatment
No, it's a chair, guys.
of any kind.
It's a chair.
Because they can't. They're surgeons. They only do surgery. You understand that? Once you get that done and you still have a problem, where do you go now?
You go back to the surgeon and
And he's not going to help
No.
you because he can't. He's
No.
not trained in that. So you got really, you know, medical care is good, but you got to have some common sense too. I mean, you're not going to go to a general practitioner if you have brain surgery. I mean, you know, you got to
Right.
pick your guy who's knowledgeable.
I mean, the Mayo Clinic says 2 out of every 5 people that go in for an ACO don't get cured. I don't want to be one of those 2.
Why is that?
Because
There's no such thing. That's why.
Right,
There's no
okay.
ACL.
Okay, so
I'm going to beat somebody.
why? So now, if any sports guys are listening to this, okay, the medication's out of your system in 8 hours, and it's on the approved list. That's the amazing thing. So why be in pain? There's a list, like Freddy will tell you, of things you cannot take.
You know why you can't have an ACL?
No.
There's a capsule ligament in front of it. That's
Okay.
what goes bad. You can't get to the ACL. It's in the middle.
So they replaced the knee.
They'll replace that tendon
Inside the knee.
Inside the ligament. Actually, it doesn't do anything except hold those bones together.
Okay.
It doesn't have any function. And yet they're replacing these things, but they forget about the capsule in front of the knee. That's where the pain is.
Okay.
It is not in the ACL. So these surgeons, I think they ought to relook at this.
It's funny you say that, Doc, because my Jets, who lost to the Lions this past week, and they looked horrible.
Have no quarterback.
Forget about it. They got no team. This is just BS. But anyway, one of the players had a torn ACL, and they showed him. Doc came in, was talking to him. They immobilized the knee with this black thing, and then the leg is shaking.
Really?
Because they have the electrodes. What is that?
Oh, those electrodes that they put on the knees for pain?
That vibrates. What is that called?
A scam.
Electrical stimulation, yeah, it's also called scam.
Electrical stimulation.
The technical word is scam.
I took Linda's. I was playing with it. But anyway, they had that on him, and his whole leg is shaking. So I guess they really have it on the whole leg. I don't know. You can't see it because it's underneath the pants. So the doctor comes in and says, well, your season is over. Season is over.
Wow.
And, we have to work hard. You're going to have to rehab. But this is not the end of your career. This is a guy talking to a 21-year-old. Okay, 21-year-old kid. He's crying. It's over.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, we're going to wait for the MRIs to come back. Now, Doc, what the hell is an MRI going to tell you?
Nothing.
It's one-dimensional.
The MRIs are created to verify surgery is needed. So that's the way they report it. You have a tear this, a tear that. You can't have all that. There isn't all that in it. And I think they're making it up. And, somebody's going to shoot me one of these days, my opinion. But my opinion is based on good medical evidence. You have to know how to examine a knee. You can't do it with an MRI.
It's also fact, what you talk about. For over 50 years of doing this.
We produce cures, so we know what we're talking about.
We're going to take a little break, but before we take a break, I want everyone to take two numbers down. One is the number to call Dr. Pannozzo on the line and tell us about any problems you have.
Yep.
That's 800-889-0267. Or if you want to call Dr. Pannozzo after the show is over, it's 561-381-5800. Now, don't call him now. The show's not over yet.
That's right. Then it rings here.
Do you have questions from the internet?
I got questions here.
He has them.
New ones. You have new ones?
I do not have new ones.
We're going to take a break while you guys discuss it.
Okay.
Colleen, a break.
Hi, it's Leah, here to tell you about Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. He's a pain specialist located in southern Palm Beach County, so if you or somebody that you know is suffering in pain, Dr. Pannozzo is the one you guys need to call. And make that call today, because living in pain is no way to go through life. Dr. Pannozzo has been in practice now for more than 49 years. He's treated more than 73,000 patients for pain. He's an expert when it comes to diagnosing the pain, and he has had huge turnarounds. In fact, people living with scoliosis, he has had nearly a 100% turnaround. Lumbar pain as well. If you've got lower back pain, if you're suffering with migraines or flat feet pain, maybe pain in your elbows, your neck, your shoulders, Dr. Pannozzo can help you. And the greatest thing is he can help you without drugs, without surgery, and without having to go through weeks and months of rehabilitation. Give him a call today. Set up an appointment. It's 561-381-5800. Tune into his show Sundays, 11 to noon.
You're listening to Dr. Pannozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. If you have constant pain and want to talk about how to get rid of it without surgery or medication, or simply want a second opinion, call Dr. Pannozzo now at 1-800-889-0267 to get your pain issues resolved. Now, more of Dr. Pannozzo's Sports and Medicine Hour.
Okay, we be back. Dr. Pannozzo, we were talking while we were on the break. Tell us about what happened yesterday with that patient that came in.
Well, I had to see somebody on Saturday, which I don't usually do. I'm available. I mean, if you're having a bad time, I can make time for you. But anyway, when I got done with him, I re-engineered his back, took all that pain out, and took out his scoliosis, by the way, also at the same time. And gave me a bear.
I asked what the bear
this
was.
big. And a bottle of champagne and free tickets. And if he's listening, he'll recognize himself. But
In other words, you helped with scoliosis. Rumors are that you can't cure that disease.
scoliosis is curable. You have to know how.
Oh, okay. So those
And,
rods don't do it, right?
Stay away from
Stay
the
away.
rods.
Well, I
Stay away
did
from the rods.
the research again, just like
Yeah.
migraine. We did research on that, and we're accessible. If you want to know how to do it, I will tell you. It's expensive, but works.
Not as expensive as they charge for surgery.
No, and the insurance companies don't know about this.
Well, they should learn because
I have more to tell you about insurance.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my God!
Come on, let's go. It's important for people to know what you go through to save people's lives and help them. Go ahead.
Well, they want to form committees to evaluate the treatment you do.
Bet
like,
you do.
Like they know.
Right.
I mean, who are these people? So that's my question. Who are you people? You think you know everything? Well, there's a spine surgery. They're very proud they have a spine surgery. Well, spine surgeons don't know how to diagnose anything. They do procedures. Orthopedic surgery, same thing. They do procedures. They're not in the diagnostic business. You have a neurologist who doesn't do this kind of work. They do neurology work, ALS, things like that. Then they have rheumatologists who examines blood. They tell you if you have a rheumatology problem, and then they give you the pills. None of them are trained in the musculoskeletal business that we do. So when you, as a patient, try to access your insurance, that's who's telling you what to do. This group
they should be able to
that
tell you
has
what
no
to do.
knowledge whatsoever of where pain comes from and how you treat it.
Exactly.
And they're telling you what to do. People, if that happens to you, change insurance. The only way you can get rid of this thing is by refusing to pay. And then they go out of business.
You should only be catered
Coventry
two
was
things.
just like that.
Yeah.
Coventry, I would not treat anybody from Coventry. The
I know.
reason is that you had to go through some place in New Jersey to get approval to do what you want to do. Who are these people? They're not in my room. They don't know what I'm talking about.
And we've invited them down.
So we tell them, look, we're not going to use your insurance. If you want the treatment, you got to pay cash, and they do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that good. Coventry just got bought out by Aetna because I guess I would say that they're losing business. They have to be losing business.
Well, I mean, if you're losing business,
But
it's
if,
hard to stay in.
If a committee's going to tell you what to do, and not having been in that room with you on your exam, you got to know your quality is now decreased.
Mhm.
So in the quality, what the insurance company wanted you to do was use 6 weeks of chiropractic. I said, what the heck for? If you know what the diagnosis is, what do you want to do that for? There's no science there
Exactly.
in chiropractic. It's a
Oh,
trade
you just
school.
mentioned chiropractic.
It's a trade.
Well, I was gonna
I
say.
get yelled at, and he did it.
I was gonna say, Doc, do they lump you with chiropractors because they don't understand what the hell they're talking about?
No, they think they have the experts around that know things, but they don't. They're not trained in what has to be done for a pain.
Right.
And if you don't do narcotics, what do you do? If you're not trained, I mean, none of those people have the training that I have.
No, because
Okay?
you're a specialist.
So we could take care of that pain. So I asked the expert, I said, well, I'm used to taking that pain out that you walk in with the same day. You cannot walk out with the same pain. Now, how do I do that if you have to approve everything? There's no answer.
No.
There is no answer to that. I mean, so I'm going to tell you, people who are buying insurance, be careful of what you're buying because next year you're going to suffer like you have no idea.
Next year, depending on who gets in, it's going to.
Well, they have to take Obamacare out.
Yes, that's
completely by the roots.
Yeah.
Just kind of poison the whole thing because what they're doing is putting the so-called experts in charge of your care, and they are nowhere near you. You cannot practice medicine that way. You can only practice medicine if you are taking a history, you do your examination, and then you do your treatment all at one time. Mm-hmm. You cannot have some committee in Columbia, Maryland, tell you what to do. If that's the case, they should send you a airline ticket, fly you over there, let them take care of you because I'm not going to mess around with them.
You should only. The two things you should be in charge of is health and your money. That's the only things you should be in charge of.
Trust anybody with your health or your
and
money.
not let anyone else tell you how you
You
do
have to know what you're talking about. You got to do your homework.
The rule of thumb is, and this is by almost everything I've read over the years, is if a person cannot cure you in 3 visits, go somewhere else. If you could cure somebody in 1 visit, my God, no drugs, no surgery, and you're done. And go about your business and be healthy.
Somebody said, "Oh, the steroids only mask the pain."
No.
That is the stupidest thing that anybody could say. It is a cure. A steroid in the right place takes inflammation out, which takes the pain away. That's what you want. It's really quite simple if you understand it.
Well, how long has your pain been away? You saw Dr. Pannozzo before I did.
2.5 years.
I'm going on almost a year from a groin injury. 2 years.
You know, it's really strange.
No pain and it's gone.
It's really strange. Linda and I had dinner at this place on Palmetto yesterday.
You eat out a lot, the two of you.
We went to check out this new place.
Okay.
And this guy has a secret sauce that you have with garlic and everything. I mean, secret sauce, Doc. Doesn't tell you what's in it, but I'm going to tell you. I want to take a bath in it. I think it's so delicious, right?
That's good.
So that if you tell people what I do is secret sauce. Secret sauce. I mean, you can't tell them what it is, because the moment you do, they become doctors. Everybody wants to be a doctor.
He tells them what it is.
I understand that, but you're not following the bouncing ball.
Oh, I follow you.
If we tell them it's secret sauce and we don't tell them what it is, then they say, "Okay, doc."
Where's this bouncing ball? I'm trying to find this bouncing ball.
Trying to find out what he's talking about.
Because you're being honest and you're telling people the truth, and people can't handle the
Yeah, you
truth.
see, the only reason you survive in any business is by telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's going to catch up to you very, very quickly.
I have never seen anyone that I have been in the office with, and I've been in his office more times probably than anybody, and I have never, ever, ever, saw anyone say, "I don't know, this shot didn't work." I've never seen anyone say it. They come in. I know it's a stupid thing. You limp in and you leap out. It's true. I see these little old people going, like doing like a little jig. I saw a lady. How old was that lady that you helped with scoliosis? She had to be like 80-something, and she's straightening up. People go to Pannozzo, which is PANNOZZO.TV, and look for yourself with people with scoliosis, people with having a terrible.
Go to my website, which is all that in there also.
Give your website out.
It's what is
Pain Centers Nationwide.
I don't look at myself.
.com.
Pain Centers Nationwide. There you go.
Okay, it's okay that you and I know it, but you can see results of actual people. And you know what? 2 of us are sitting here that don't have the same pain we had. Freddy's going on 2 years. I'm going almost a year. And let me tell you, didn't even feel the shot.
Well, listen.
Didn't even feel it.
My mother's 85 years old.
God bless her.
And I told her, because my father has pain in his left knee.
Well, you could go to Cuba now, so we could drive out. We could fly up there.
Well, my parents are in Cuba, but you can go.
Okay.
They're in Puerto Rico. So I tell my mother what's going on. Now, half of my family are doctors. Half of my family. And they've been treating my father's knee pain, I don't know, 20 or 30 years.
Did it go away yet?
Oh,
No. So I had this conversation with my mother, bless her heart. I said, "Mom, you know something? Maybe it's not his knee. Maybe it's his hip. Maybe it's his lower back." My father was in the construction business for over 50 years.
Oh, God, that's got to get lower back. I could see that.
So what does she tell me? Now the doctor comes out of her. You know, that might be true. We're going to rub his hip. But this is what I'm talking about, Doc. And this is my mother. She's my mother.
Didn't she take the chicken and twirl it around his hip?
Now, you see, I can get angry at a remark like that. But the bottom line here is that when you tell people what you do,
right,
they can't put their hands around it.
They cannot.
They cannot.
That's a perfect, Freddy.
Because it's too deep.
Excellent.
You have to understand.
That's right.
But Doc,
anatomy and physiology.
And no one studies it. That's the thing. Doctors don't study that.
It's so simple, yet so complicated.
Yeah.
Because the truth is simple, and how you do it is complicated. So if they went along with this bouncing ball that I'm telling you about,
There goes that ball.
and they play along, and you listen to what you say, you take a shot. What do you got to lose? You're going to walk out the same way you walked in if you don't listen.
There's no downside. That's what I'm trying to explain to people out there.
Psychological downside.
Yes, you're right.
Psychological.
This-
I'm going to be smarter than Dr.
Yeah.
Pannozzo. I'm not getting this shot.
But there's no downside. I mean, these people that bring in their kids who are could be former athletes in baseball or
You know
football.
what? The other thing about the shots that we use, everybody wants to know, what is it?
That's right. It's a secret sauce, Doc.
And I say, that is not the point. The
No.
point is why and where I use it, not what. You can use a lot of stuff. I happen to use one compound, which I use on myself, which is really good. But it's why and where you use it. It's not the stuff alone.
That's the
And
thing.
so the doctors want to know, what is it? And somebody in Michigan wants to know, what is it? So they can have their doctor do it. No, you can't. It's where and why it goes.
That's
These
right.
are
They
small
gotta fly
doses
you.
with no side effects. I mean, this is really sophisticated work.
That's what people don't understand. What Freddy
And
just
it's
said.
available.
And you,
It's
yeah.
available right now before I pass on.
No, you can't.
I'm not.
No, we have to reach 1 million people that you've seen. That's
At
our goal. Yeah.
Hey, listen, we all take a plane to fly, right?
Yeah.
Everybody flies on a plane.
Yeah.
But how many pilots can line the plane in the Hudson River? And everybody lives.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
One guy.
One guy is
All I
all
can
the
say
same
is the
planes.
Hudson River must be shallow.
No, it's not shallow.
No.
Not?
It's deep. And the currents are wild.
That's the word when that plane
But the
comes up.
plane was stable.
yeah,
yeah.
well, how many people could do that? Is my
Yeah,
point.
That's exactly right.
Right? I mean, he does one thing better than everybody else.
Yeah, you see what you said? Okay, the general practitioner will diagnose everything, and then when he can't find a problem, he sends you to a doctor that he thinks, and that's not wrong. But the thing is, why not send someone to a doctor that could really take care of you, and now you become, the other guy becomes a god with everyone. Oh, you're not playing God. Oh, I can see the way you're not. I just take some aspirin.
I think it's stiff joints.
Yeah, that's everyone. I'll take an aspirin. I'll go see my doctor. Give me something to ease the pain. Easy pain is great, but never having the pain is even better.
Well, if you have a pain, for instance, if you have a pain that's really superficial, but it goes all the way down your leg at night, where do you think that's from?
Well, wait, that's what I had. Remember that I couldn't sleep. That's what I came in to see you.
Couldn't sleep, but I wasn't describing what you had, which is climbing steps. See, they're different. You have to be able to ask the right questions to find out what.
Oh, with that guy Bobby.
All the questions I ask you are related to the anatomy. You don't know that, but those questions are derived from what I'm trying to find out about how you function. So if you say yes or no, I'll know where that problem is. It's a great history, and I could do it. I could do it in software. I could produce that if somebody is interested in it.
Well, now that you take a full. I've watched him. He sits. There could be an office full of people. He sits. He gets where the pain is. He's got his chart where they write down where the pain is, and sometimes where they write it down, they might not have the pain there, but he finds where the cause of that pain is that's making that particular thing bother them. Like he did with me and you.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. No one does that.
Or he'll run into something that he didn't even know
Yeah.
was related, like the vertigo.
Paul's on the phone.
Oh, Paul? Okay, Paul, come on.
Hey there, good morning, everybody.
Boy, Paul, you wait for the last 10 minutes to get on, don't you?
I get to hear the conversation,
How did it sound today?
and still, when someone has a problem, you make your diagnosis from your history and your exam, and then you can use any imaging to help confirm your diagnosis. But
That's true.
today, this day and age, a lot of times people, when they go somewhere, people will just want to look at the MRI, say, "Oh, what's the MRI say?" And then, then we have to do this. So it's really unfortunate, and it's actually in a lot of these insurance companies have these criteria that they want everyone to follow for treatment. Nothing is individualized to the patient. It's all kind of a cookbook, and they'll have they want to see what the MRI shows, and and then you have to do this or this, and you have to say, it really doesn't matter what that MRI shows. You can have all kind of MRI findings, and the symptoms whatsoever. It's based on what the complaint and the imaging might is secondary.
Yeah, what you're describing is you really have to go back to the physician in charge of that patient on that particular day. Mm-hmm. That's your expert. It's not somebody in Columbia, Maryland, or in New Jersey, or any place like that. They are not experts in what we do, Paul, and I think you and I proved that out, right?
Yeah, they're not. It's you always wonder if when we have to make calls to an insurance company or something, and we have to defend what we're seeing right in front of us, and to someone who's sitting in a corner office, and we just don't like that. It's not right. But
and
but the history tells a lot, and if based on what people say, what activities make them worse, you could figure out quite quickly.
There's a Michelle on the phone.
Oh, we have a call for both you guys. Michelle wants to talk to both doctors. Michelle, you're here with the two Dr. Pannozzos.
Hi, how you doing?
Okay.
What is your problem?
What is the question?
I was just recently diagnosed with a bunch of problems. They said they were mild, but I just wanted to find out if I can see you guys instead of having to go for surgery, which they're recommending.
Oh,
What kind of surgery?
What is your pain? Where's your pain?
I have it in the lower back, but they're saying that it's my spine. I have I can't think what they called it now. I have spurs all over the spine. They said it was mild scoliosis, and then they said the spine is slipping off the bone when they did the flexing and extending X-rays. And then they said I had
do you have pain in your leg?
I have pain in my right leg going down. I thought it was my hip, but they said that I have pain in the right leg going down, a little bit in both buttocks, my lower back. So it's pretty much like when I sit too long, stand too long, walk too long, lay in the bed is atrocious. I can't lay on my back more than 5 to 10 minutes and it goes numb.
So you have back pain, or where does it go in the right lower limb? Where does it go?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, where does the pain refer in the right lower limb?
On the right leg, it's from a little bit of the top of the buttock, and then it goes down to the side, half the thigh.
Down the side of the leg?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we know where that is.
Not
That's
to the
treatable.
thigh?
Well, they also said it was like spondylitis I had, I think they called it.
Yeah.
Spondylitis.
Well,
Never heard
those terms don't mean anything. Your pain is coming from the annulus at the L4-5, and we have to determine why it's there. So we already know what it is. We have to determine why it's there. We do that on the special films we do, and on the fluoroscope. We'll inject that thing right out. You'll relieve that the same day you come in.
it's amazing. Michelle, do you have his number? It's 561-381-5800, and you can call Dr. Pannozzo, and don't be surprised when Dr. Pannozzo's answer your phone.
Okay, sounds great.
Thank you so much, Michelle, for calling.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Take care. Okay.
Well, that's a good example of failure to treat. Let's do surgery.
Right.
Failure to treat, right. What's causing the problem?
I mean, he's sitting here, and he already knows in the area that he's going to be attacking it.
Well, I think after 50 years, he should know this by now, right?
Well, Dr. Pannozzo in one hand, scalpel in the other.
Right.
Which would you choose?
I would at least go into one of the Dr. Pannozzos, either west of the Mississippi
All right, thanks,
or east
Paul.
of the Mississippi.
Right.
Unbelievable.
What else were you listening to, Paul, that you might want to talk with us about? Oh, I thought you left.
What are you on that case?
One of the things that we like to talk about now. Go
I
ahead.
want to talk with him about.
Go ahead.
I have this pain in my back. I got to come over there. I'm trying to get over so you can fix it.
Well, Paul, here's the thing: if you have nothing to do this week, could you fly down and give Dad a shot?
Right. I'm waiting for him to come over and help me with my shoulder. I can't reach it.
No, neither one of us will get treated in any other
Well,
place.
what I tell your
We have
father to do is to go up there for a week, get out of this smoggy weather, and he'll treat you. You treat
the
him.
allergies are so bad.
Oh, it's
here.
terrible down here lately. I mean, I've been suffering with the allergy. I wish I had a shot for that.
He's talking about the shoulder. Our shoulder exam is so particular to us. It's based on the construction, how it was made, and what it's supposed to do.
It's amazing.
And we're knocking these things out 1 to 3 visits. That's it.
Amazing.
I have medical students right now, and I try to show them that you can examine for any problem. The ball joint, AC joint, or all the major tendons literally takes 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And you can be entirely accurate. You don't need an MRI to figure it out.
In fact, he's making a
amazing.
good point. When I answer the phone, I answer the phone because I want to know what your problem is.
Right.
If I can bring you in right away, I will do that.
Yeah.
And shoulders, we can bring in any time of the day. It's very quick.
So, like Freddy said, scalpel in this hand, Dr. Pannozzo in the other hand. I don't think that's a difficult. I mean, there is no way I could conceive anyone wanting to go under the
Now,
knife.
can you imagine somebody sitting at home and they're saying, these guys are out of their mind? That's not possible. My doctor says it can't be done like that.
Well, all I know is
Well, your doctor's out of his mind. He should not be criticizing me or saying anything about what I do until he calls me. And unless he
that's
calls
exactly
me,
right.
he should not be making any comment.
Not only that is we see a lot of new patients who are smart enough to realize, hey, and they walk out saying, why did I wait a year?
Yep, they say that.
How many people have said that? When I look and see all the new names and all the new, I say, Paul, and they all say, why did I wait a year?
What are we going on in New York?
There's a meeting tomorrow about the technical side. Has nothing to do with the film. They want the film. Has nothing to do with that. But it has to be done technically correct. We only get one shot, so I'm going to be patient.
Right now, we're in Atlanta. Atlanta seems to be doing very well for us.
Atlanta's doing real well. The thing about New York, when the weather gets a little colder, is when I want you up there. Do a nice little seminar up there, a couple of them, and come on down.
Yeah, I think we're going to do that, Paul. We're going to go to New York and do a seminar after we get establish an audience. And
Yeah.
Have a good time.
There's gonna be snow on the ground,
he's
Paul.
not coming up.
You're the young Dr. Pannozzo. We're counting on you to come up with us.
Yeah, that's so far. That's so far away from here.
Oh, come on. How many, was it, 4
Anybody in
hours?
California or east of
The
west of
Mississippi.
the
West of the
Mississippi.
Mississippi. We could do something
Yeah.
in California.
I'll do something in
I don't really
California.
want to go to California.
It's drought and 107 in the shade.
After it took me 5.5 hours to go to Las Vegas, I don't really want to be on a plane that long. I really don't.
Yeah. But,
Well, we could do it by.
Hey, you guys, I have to go, but it's great talking with you guys this morning.
Paul, thanks
Yeah,
for calling. It's always a pleasure when we have the two Dr.
See you
P's
later.
here. Have a good day.
But we could have Los Angeles by electronics. Just send it by email. The whole program.
Oh no, you can. Yeah. No, the reason that I picked New York is because Manhattan welcomed us. They invited us.
Well, you gotta. They invited us.
Yeah, so they want to know what would happen if Dr. Pannozzo goes in January, February up there. And snowbirds come down to Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So if you shoveling snow and you hurt yourself and you go see a seminar and you're on your way to Miami, why not?
But not only that, but if you come down here for medical treatment, that's a write-off for you. That's an expense.
Mhm.
Because the government cannot tell you have to go to local doctor.
That's right.
Wherever you go, that's the way it's written anyway. So not only the trip, but the hotel and everything could be all based on your lower back pain.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
And
Come down to South Florida.
legitimately so. You're not cheating anybody. That's the way it's written.
Maybe throwing around the golf somewhere.
And well, no one expects you to suffer. They expect.
Oh, the insurance companies expect you to suffer because
the
you don't fit
insurance
their
companies, yeah,
criteria.
well, they have money on their mind, and it's really, really wrong. I think you make more money if you do the right treatments.
Let me say something.
Less.
Let me say something about you that I found out. Okay, and this is coming from my heart. I've seen it. I was there. He treats a patient for how many years without taking a cent because the guy could afford it.
Yeah, well.
I mean, that has no insurance, and it's an older guy with no insurance. And this man treats him so. It's not the money. I want people to understand. If you listen to our show, we don't have any sponsors. We don't want to have sponsors. We want people to understand that this show is an informational show. He doesn't need new business. Let me just tell you that. But he wants to help people, and it's it's a good thing to do that.
I think
is.
it fulfills the promise I made when I took my oath of Hippocrates.
Yeah.
That,
Hippocratic
you're going
oath.
to help
Yes.
people, and I have plenty of money. I don't need.
And people think you're just coming. No, we're not doing that. We're trying to show you. You know what it is? We live in a society where you got to think for yourself. You can't let anyone else tell you where you should go.
This is the whole thing. I think you encapsulated it right. And we're trying to give information too, basic information that you can depend on.
Yeah.
This is basic stuff here.
And you could do just what I do, folks. You could go to the internet and put in anything you want.
Now, when you go to a doctor and they start explaining what you have, and they use terms that you can't even look up, you walk out of there.
Right.
Okay? I'm for you.
Oh, yeah. I always say this, make your second opinion your first. Go see Dr. Pannozzo and
Your
get
last.
the facts. Huh? No, he's your first
Oh, your
opinion.
first opinion.
Make your second opinion your first. Go in and see Dr. Pannozzo and just talk to the man. He's very easy to talk to. Tell him what the pain is. He'll explain to you what he's doing. He'll do the diagnosis. And if you're still not happy, guess what? Go get surgery.
That's right. Nobody's forcing you to do anything. He's going to give you a diagnosis.
And he's
gonna
going to
tell
give you a diagnosis. And I'm going to tell you, I've been around this man for almost 2 years, and he's going to give you the right diagnosis.
Yeah, I mean, he told me, he says, do you want me to take the pain out? And he explained what he was going to do.
And went out.
And I looked at you, and I said, what do we do? And you said, no. I said, okay, let's do it. I mean, after 4 years of having the pain,
Yeah, see,
it.
you're describing trust in your physician.
That's
If they say,
exactly right.
This is what I want to
And
do.
we trusted
and
you.
This is what you're going to get. You can't help but say yes. You have to. I mean,
Doc, I'm
there's a
gonna be real honest, Doc.
before
I was scared at the
Everyone,
beginning.
yeah.
I said, and it hurt. I'm gonna tell you something. It hurt for 2 seconds. I gotta tell you, I'm not gonna lie. But after that,
But that's by design.
yeah, I know you wanted to know where it was.
You want to know. I want to know. I want you to know that was the right place. And the only way you know that is because there becomes it's like how do we describe it? Like an eruption. You know we're in the right place.
Yes.
And that should tell you psychologically, I did the right thing.
Oh,
That is the
absolutely.
right place.
And
If you didn't feel it, it's not the right place. So that's how you control
Right,
your doctor.
exactly.
You see, I'm giving you all the ins and outs that you have to know.
That's right. Nobody ever forced.
I
me to
have a
use
lot of friends in the medical field. And a very good friend of mine said to me, you talk to me all about this doctor? Go see him. I said, really? He said, yeah, see him. I said, well, I was going to go anyhow. It doesn't matter what anyone said. And with the hernia, with the groin injury, you found it. I jumped off that thing. My tushy went up over 5 feet. He found exactly where it was.
It so happens I did the research on that.
Yeah, it's amazing.
About 20 years ago.
Amazing.
And people allude to that, but they don't really know how to diagnose it or treat it. And so we figured all that out. I mean, it's all based on the anatomy. 1 minute?
1 minute to
1
go. We ought to do a 2-hour show, Doc. If you want to talk to Dr. Pannozzo, we'll be gone in about a minute and a half. It's 561-381-5800. And if your insurance companies say no, please don't listen. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you next week.
This has been the Dr. Pannozzo Sports and Medicine Hour with Dr. Anthony Pannozzo. If you spend 5 minutes with Dr. Pannozzo, you'll see he genuinely enjoys helping others. Visit Dr. Pannozzo online at www.paincentersnationwide.com or call him at 561-381-5800. Dr. Pannozzo will consult with you to determine the best solution to your pain needs. 561-381-5800 is the number to call, even if it's just for a second opinion. Join Dr. Pannozzo next week when he brings you more important information on the physics of weight-bearing and engineer concepts for the body.